Welcome to Recap King. In this video, we will explain Jason Bourne. This movie tells the story of a former CIA agent who becomes a fugitive, then comes out of hiding to find out more about his past and his father's death. Will he be able to reveal the truth while he escapes from the CIA? Let's find out in Jason Bourne. Jason Bourne begins by showing a series of flashbacks that went through Jason Bourne's mind when he was still named David Webb and was first recruited by the CIA. After Jason managed to expose Blackbriar operation and disappeared, he finally recovered from his amnesia. Jason then secluded himself from the world and made a living by taking part in fierce battles in Greece. The man was in the car taking him somewhere when he recalled his past. Not long after, Jason finally arrived at an area on the border of Greece and Albania, where the area was used as a street fighting arena. The audience seemed excited before the fight started and placed a bet. Jason apparently followed the fight, and the man could easily take down his opponent with just one hit. Meanwhile in Reykjavik, Iceland, Nikki Parsons, a woman who once helped Bourne uncover the Blackbriar operation, has collaborated with a hacktivist group led by Christian Dassault. She then hacked into the CIA mainframe computer servers to expose another Black Ops program. Suddenly, Nikki's actions caused panic within the intelligence agency after they received a warning that someone was trying to break into their security system. A woman named Heather Lee, who is the head of the CIA Cybersecurity Operations Division, immediately intervened to track down Nikki's whereabouts. Knowing that the CIA already knew her location, Nikki immediately set fire to her computer, after she copied all important and highly classified CIA files which she would later hand over to Bourne. After learning that Nikki hacked the server and accessed all important and secret files belonging to the CIA, Lee and CIA officials immediately held a meeting, especially because Nikki is related to Jason Bourne, the CIA most wanted fugitive. Lee then pleaded his superior, CIA Director, Robert Dewey, for her to lead the operation to capture Jason Bourne and Nikki Parsons and retrieve all the important files stolen before they exposed them. Meanwhile, Nikki, who already knows the location of Bourne's whereabouts, finds him in a street fight in Athens. Nikki then left a slip of paper in Bourne's locker with an address for Bourne to meet her at that address. Elsewhere, Lee and her team managed to track down Nikki's whereabouts and immediately dispatched several special teams to catch Nikki, and also Bourne, who is believed to be around there to meet his partner. Bourne and Nikki finally meet in Syntagma Square, among the demonstrators protesting anti-government voices. Nikki then tells Bourne that she managed to hack into the CIA main server and found important documents regarding Bourne's recruitment to Treadstone and Bourne's father's participation in the program. Knowing that the CIA had tracked their whereabouts, Bourne and Nikki split up to avoid the CIA team sent to chase them. Bourne then asks Nikki to meet him somewhere. After successfully paralyzing the entire CIA team, Bourne rushed to pick up Nikki by riding a police motorbike that he stole. The chase through the crowd that began to act anarchically was unavoidable. When Bourne and Nikki were about to stay away from the rioting between the demonstrators and the police, Nikki was shot by a man, nicknamed the Asset, an ex-Blackbriar assassin, who also holds a personal grudge against Bourne, having been captured and tortured as an unintentional consequence of Bourne's exposure of Blackbriar. Nikki, who lay helpless, looked at Bourne, and before taking her last breath, the woman gave Bourne a locker key. Bourne then rushed to the station and opened one of the lockers there, using the key Nikki gave him. He finds a gun, a flash drive containing all important CIA files, and a notebook, which contains a series of numbers, believed to be coordinates, pointing to a place in Berlin, Germany. In order to find answers about the past and his family that Nikki wanted to tell before she died, Bourne then went to the address where the coordinates were and found that the address was Christian Dassault's residence in Berlin. After asking Dassault to open the encrypted file, Bourne discovers that his father, Richard Webb, was a CIA analyst involved in creating the Treadstone program. The malware program embedded in the file turned out able to tell the CIA about the location of Bourne. Dewey then sends a team to capture Bourne, while Lee deletes all the files remotely. On the other hand, while Bourne is looking for additional information about the extent of his father's involvement in the file, while matching it with memories from his past just before his father died, Dassault tries to attack Bourne, but he is no match for Jason Bourne, who is a trained assassin. When he wanted to continue reading the file, his laptop screen suddenly turned off, indicating that Lee had managed to hack into Dassault's laptop and delete all the files. Dewey then had Lee contact Bourne by hacking into Dassault's cell phone. As Dewey and Bourne chat on the phone, Lee texts Bourne and informs him of a CIA team that will be laying siege to the place in 2 minutes. Lee helped Bourne, simply because she believed that Bourne could be persuaded to return to the CIA. Knowing that Jason Bourne had yet again managed to escape, Dewey and Lee immediately called for an urgent meeting with their leader, Edwin Russell, where Lee requested to be deployed directly to capture Bourne and bring him back. Not only that, Lee will take full responsibility and accept all the consequences if she fails to capture Bourne alive and bring him back to the CIA. Even though Dewey seemed to be against it, he couldn't do anything because Russell agreed. Meanwhile, Bourne is on a train to London, where he finds out about Heather Lee and wonders why she helped him. Using some of the clues he had gathered in Berlin, Bourne then tracked down Malcolm Smith, a former Treadstone spy who was in London, and contacted the man, then arranged to meet him at Paddington Plaza. But the conversation was successfully intercepted by Lee. Dewey then dispatches several teams to capture Bourne, but the man secretly orders the asset to kill Bourne and Smith. He even ordered the asset to eliminate the other CIA agents assigned to capture Bourne. Dewey then tells Lee that Jason Bourne was the one who killed the CIA agents, to convince Lee that Bourne is a cold-blooded killer, so it would be useless if Bourne was captured alive, because according to Dewey, Bourne is a merciless person. Even so, Lee doesn't seem to have lost her confidence, and she can bring Bourne back to the agency. On the other hand, Bourne makes a plan to set the fire alarm, and manages to panic the people gathered at the evacuation points, thinking there has been a fire. In the midst of the crowd, Bourne kidnaps Smith and manages to take him somewhere, avoiding the asset's guns that are ready to kill them both from the roof of the building. Bourne immediately urged Smith to reveal all the information he knew about the extent of his father's involvement in Treadstone, and also the facts behind his father's death. But it turns out that Smith has been in touch with Dewey and is using a device so Dewey can hear the conversation between them. Dewey then warns Smith not to divulge any information to Bourne. However, due to constant pressure from Bourne, who threatened him with a gun, Smith finally revealed that Bourne's father, Richard Webb, was the one who created Treadstone, but Richard tries to prevent them from recruiting his son. Under Dewey's orders, the asset then killed Richard Webb in Beirut, making it look like a terrorist attack, to trick Bourne into thinking his father was murdered by terrorists to motivate Bourne to join Treadstone. Meanwhile, the asset manages to corner Bourne and Smith, who are on the roof of a building. Smith is eventually killed by the asset, while Bourne manages to escape by jumping off the roof of the building. But when the asset got downstairs, the man found Bourne nowhere. When reporting to Dewey that he had lost track of Bourne, Dewey then ordered the asset to leave immediately because there is a more important mission to complete. On the other hand, Bourne manages to find Lee in a van and urges her to tell Dewey's location. Lee revealed that she had a disagreement with Dewey, who was so ambitious to kill Bourne. She then handed Bourne a cell phone and told him that Dewey is heading to a technology convention in Las Vegas. Shortly after, Dewey is scheduled to attend the convention for a public debate on privacy rights with a man named Aaron Callor, CEO of social media giant Deep Dream. Meanwhile, Bourne manages to get through a checkpoint at the airport with Lee's help, allowing the CIA fugitive to roam freely to reach his destination. Bourne manages to infiltrate the convention Dewey is attending, disguised as a security guard. On the other hand, the asset was also at the convention, but his mission this time is to kill Aaron Callor and also shoot Dewey, but not kill him, so that Dewey will not be suspected of being the mastermind behind Callor's murder. It turns out that Callor's company, Deep Dream, was funded by Dewey in its early stages. Dewey intends to use Deep Dream for real-time mass surveillance, along the latest incarnation of the CIA-targeted assassination beta program, known as Iron Hand, a much more ruthless and sinister version of Blackbriar, in which the assassin can intentionally murder anyone to get to the target. However, after Callor found out about the terrible plans that Dewey was about to carry out, he then intended to cancel all cooperation with Dewey, even threatening to reveal it to the public. Because of that, Dewey ordered the asset to kill Callor. Dewey then received information from his men that Jason Bourne managed to land in the United States a few hours ago, and that he was able to pass through the super tight airport checkpoints with the help of one of the CIA agents, who was none other than Lee. Knowing that Bourne must be after him, Dewey tightens his guard and orders the asset to kill Bourne and Lee, after killing Callor. When the asset prepares to shoot Callor in the head, Bourne, knowing this, then aims the spotlight right at the man's face, so that the shot misses and only hits Callor's arm. Amid the panic, Dewey rushes back to his room to secure himself, while Bourne kills CIA agents who stand in his way to pursue Dewey. Bourne finally meets Dewey in his room, where Dewey tries to stir up Bourne's sense of patriotism while buying time. Jason, who gets angry with all of Dewey's actions and also his involvement in the death of Bourne's father, wanted to kill Dewey right away. But then, Dewey's right-hand man appears and shoots Bourne in the stomach, along with Bourne, who also shoots the man and kills him. Thinking that the situation is in his favor, Dewey grabbed a gun and pointed it at Bourne. But before Dewey can kill Bourne, Lee bursts into the room and shoots Dewey dead. After covering up Lee's involvement in Dewey's death, Bourne rushes to catch the fleeing asset in a police car. The chase on the streets of Las Vegas is inevitable, until they both crash into the casino and flee to an abandoned building. There, Bourne and the asset engage in a savage battle that ends with Bourne breaking the asset's neck, killing the man and avenging both his father and Nikki. Sometime later, Lee is seen trying to convince Russell that Dewey's methods are out of date and offering herself as Dewey's replacement as CIA director, as well as Russell's eyes and ears within the CIA. Lee outlines her plan to use Bourne's trust to bring him back to the agency, but Lee will not hesitate to kill Bourne if he refuses to cooperate. After that, Lee then met with Bourne in a park and gave a charter belonging to Richard Webb, his father, to Bourne. Lee promised Bourne that the CIA will become the organization he thought it was when he joined, but Bourne asked for time to consider her offer and walked away. The film ends by showing Lee returning to her car and finding a recording, made by Bourne, of her conversation with Russell revealing her true intentions to kill Bourne as the woman says, "Then, he'll have to be put down." Lee finally realized that she had lost his chance to control Jason Bourne, while Bourne was seen leaving and disappearing. Is Jason Bourne coming back again, or has his journey ended here, because he has uncovered all the mysteries about himself, his father, and Treadstone, that have been haunting his life for so long?